Major Desmon Brown teases excited news about Jamaica National Stadium. Where is the news? How will this impact the Reggae Boys? This is the platform for the details. Wake up this morning, waking time to see the sun rising, yeah. Say, man, I give thanks in a real life to the Most High. Because many years passed, I'm still alive, I'm grateful for life. Greetings to you, fans and followers of Premier 7. I am your host of the show, Ryan Nelson, with another episode as it relates to the Independence Park, Jamaica National Stadium, as it relates to Major Desmond Brown teases excited news about Jamaica National Stadium. What is this about? What is the excited news surrounding the Independence Park? Is it a case of which major renovation will be done? Is it a case of which the facility will be improved in such a way to accommodate way more than the in excess of 34,000 capacity of fans? Well, on the channel here today, the details will be discussed. I will be sharing the news and I will let you know what does this mean for the Reggae Boys. So, with that being said, let's just jump right into the details. The news feed that was being shared on Sportsmax website. So on the 8th of May 2024, the title states that Major Brown assures good condition of National Stadium pitch for Reggae Boys World Cup qualifiers, June the 6th. So Major Desmond Brown, the general manager of Independence Park Limited, has provided assurance that the playing surface at Jamaica's National Stadium will be in excellent shape for the Reggae Boys' upcoming World Cup qualifiers against the Dominican Republic on June the 6th, despite a busy upcoming schedule of events. So he said that we have a group of people who are very dedicated to getting the field back in good condition. So even with the events that we have recently, we are working on it to get it back. What does that mean? Words is win, but action speaks louder than words. And for us as Jamaican fans to hear that the National Stadium will be in good condition based on assurance by the general manager, Mr. Desmond Brown. Where do I stand? I want to believe what was being said because the National Stadium is that venue for which a lot of big events are being played. Games of cricket, schoolboy football, track meets, and the list goes on. But we should understand that the National Stadium may not be the best of the best, but it is our major area for sports competition. And the type of structure or the surface that we have there, it is sandy. So if series or events of track meets that includes shot put, then it will irritate the spot and it will have to be renovated or sorted out in a way that when players should play the game of football, then it doesn't have any major impact. I am hoping that these events that is going to come up will not affect our national players because we want to make it our priority to support them and they need our support for these upcoming football fixtures. It should not only be for this here, but Along the way, the National Stadium is and should be a place that will generate a lot more games, and the amount of games that will be played will contribute to the national development of the nation. What do I mean by this? If the National Stadium can invite more series of games, not only football, then revenue generation, stadium improvement, nation building, a reduction in unwelcoming events in the Jamaica system should all be considered. What does this mean for the Reggae Boys? But before I even talk about that major section of the video, I want to just play an audio by way of what was being said, just for clarity that I'm not bringing across any false news.
It will be a busy 4 weeks for General Manager Major Desmon Brown and his team at Independence Park Limited, home of the National Stadium. Starting on Saturday with the inaugural Jamaica Athletics Invitational, the following weeks will see the staging of the InSports All-Island Primary Championships, the final of the Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League on May 19, and the Racers Grand Prix on June 1. There will also be the CONCACAF World Cup qualifier on June 6 between Jamaica's Reggae Boyz and the Dominican Republic. We asked Major Brown if the stadium facilities will be able to withstand the workload.
We're fortunate in this case that we're not the only event that gives us a problem, the shot put. And the two events coming up, the international meet and the racers meet, there'll be no shot put. And as you can see, we also have Premier League finals here in a couple of weeks. And we have started working on our field, as you can see. So I can assure you that the field will be in perfect condition for all the football matches.
All right. So, what Major Brown has mentioned then is that based on what you can see, I assume then that if we go to the National Stadium, we are seeing improvements. And the article before from Sportsmax mentioned dedicated workers. In order to have dedicated workers, I would say that, oh, Mr. Desmond Brown is providing incentives to those workers so that they will be committed to work and improve the National Stadium. Because at the end of the day, hard work and no pay makes Jack a dull boy. And we want for whenever our workers work on our national stadium, then it will not be a case of hearing any stray news at the end of the day to say that these persons aren't paid, they aren't receiving what they should receive by doing so much work. Jamaica National Stadium, what does this mean for the Reggae Boys? Whenever we're talking about the Reggae Boys, we're talking about players that we want to represent and destroy oppositions. We want to have players who can create an onslaught against any opposition teams that we come across. Whether we're going to win the games or we're going to fight to prevent us from losing the game. We heard news about players talking about the stadium condition or the football pitches here in Jamaica not being suitable enough for their playing style. Players have a right, and whenever it comes down to injuries, it can be a case of the field that they're playing on. So, is it a case in which the national team will have artificial grass? If not, will there be proper maintenance being done? Long and behold, that should be the case because we don't want to hear big talks and then at the end of that, nothing is being done. So, we can assume that there should be safety in terms of the surface. So when players are dribbling, the ball is not bumped upon them. Passing the ball is not stuck in the ground. And by way of that, it should be motivation for the national team. Then again, the national stadium is a place that whenever rain falls heavily, the surface is not looking good. So there should be proper drainage system in place because renovation is going to take place, right? So regardless of the rain that is going to be falling, the national team in the Reggae Boys, if we're going to play against teams like the Dominican Republic, the rain will not affect our playing style. It will not affect our fluency in terms of passing, dribbling, and trying to score goals. So the impact that it should have on the national team should be of greatness because most of our players play overseas, whether in the MLS or in Europe, and they are used to proper football pitches. So having a proper football pitch in the National Stadium on June the 6th, I am saying then that our playing should be more fluent and our supporters will not be showing signs of not being satisfied. The players should come out and represent and do well this time, even though our opposition players will be used to proper football pitches as well. But long and behold, then, the national system, the national team, should be contributing positively to those who are paying their money to come to the national stadium. So, people, it is time for me to go. But what is your thought? Where do you sit on the fence in regards to the news being shared? Do you believe what was being said by Mr. Desmond Brown? Well, we will check it out. Take care and goodbye for now.